Bonjour, bienvenue pour cette nouvelle vidéo sur FrançaisEasy avec Cassim. Cassim est américain, c'est un coach sportif que j'ai rencontré il y a quelques temps, c'est mon coach aussi et il donne beaucoup de conseils et beaucoup de choses pratiques pour apprendre le français parce que lui aussi il était professeur et aussi maintenant il a été footballeur professionnel. Oh là là, un footballeur professionnel avec moi. Bref, on se calme. Aujourd'hui, on va apprendre la manifestation, se fixer des objectifs, manifester.
Yeah, manifestation.
Ok, maintenant c'est à Cassim.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about manifestation, but more specifically goal setting. I know right now manifestation is like the big buzzword that everyone
Partout, everywhere.
is using, right? All over social media, like I'm manifesting my best life, I'm manifesting the best version of myself, you know? So what manifestation really is literally you putting action behind all of the things that you want to achieve, all right? A lot of people put a lot of like mystical and spiritual energy into it. It is a very spiritual process, but it's actually very straightforward, and I think if you make it simple for yourself, you'll realize that you've been manifesting everything in your life with every thought that you have.
It's not only a trend. It's not only a tendency, a trend, like it's fashion now.
No, it's not a trend. I think it's trending right now because a lot of people are using it and it's becoming a very popular word to use. But we've been manifesting things since we've been able to create as humans. All of our creations started in our mind, and that's where manifestation starts. So the moment that you think about something, the moment that you put feeling behind that thing that you're thinking about, and then the moment that you put action behind that feeling is when you start to achieve the things that you want.
It's work for everything?
For everything. For anything that you want.
Yeah, we're manifesting Denzel Washington.
and I don't want to oversimplify it because it is a very simple process, but because it's simple, don't mistake that for it being easy. It's not easy obtaining the things that you want in life and achieving your goal.
Okay, I hope today you explain everything.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So I think the first step, right, is having a goal, a dream, or a sort of desire, right? So let's say, for example, you want to maybe lose weight and become a sexier version of yourself. Maybe, right? So how do you begin on that journey to achieving that? Well, first you have to want that for yourself.
Okay. Right? I try to pray, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, because you have to have faith, and prayer without faith is just words, right? So I think to start, you have to want something, right? So you have a goal. Let's say your goal is to become a sexier version of yourself, all right? You want to be the best looking, the most attractive that you can possibly be, right? So you have to feel that, and you have to identify why. Why do you want this?
So
right?
The why is very important.
The why is extremely important, because if you don't have a why attached to your goal, then you're not going to be motivated, and you're not going to stick with it long enough to see that manifest into your reality.
The same like you take a car, you're driving, you don't know where to go.
You don't know where you're going because you don't know why. You don't know, I'm in my car and I'm just driving. Why am I driving? Where am I going? That's you without a why. Right? So discover your why. Why is it that you want to achieve that? And one of the ways in which I like to discover your why is I have this exercise called the 5 whys. So take out a piece of paper, all right? Write down your goal at the top.
Just wait.
All right? Write down your goal. Whatever your goal is, write it down. And then ask why. Okay? Answer the question. Then ask why again after you write down that first why.
So why?
Yeah, so let's say, okay, my goal is to become sexy, a sexier version of myself. I want to lose weight. Okay, why? Because I want to get a girlfriend. Okay, let's just say that. Why? Because I like women. Why? I don't want to be alone. Why? And the more that you uncover, the more that you ask why, you get to the root the actual why, because the original why is just the surface level why. We want to get to the why that touches the emotion and the feeling that's connected to the actual goal.
Okay.
And that's why the 5 why exercise is really great, because you start to realize, oh, wait, my why that I've been telling people is not my actual why. My why is actually attached to something much deeper to myself. And so by having that why, now you understand, okay, this is why I'm doing it, and this is what I'm doing it for. So once you have your why, now you need to break that goal down. You need to break it down into steps. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to do this thing. You want to become a sexier version of yourself. Okay, well, you need to eat. You need to sleep. You need to exercise, right? So you have to start creating a plan for yourself. You need to set a deadline. So one of the best things to do is create a SMART goal for yourself. It has to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time.
Yeah, I know that in French we say SMART, la méthode SMART.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. So breaking that down, you'll be able to be very specific about your goal. So say, I want to achieve this goal by doing blah, 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 blah by this time.
Okay.
And by having a set deadline, you keep yourself on track to maintaining and reaching that goal.
So that gives you motivation.
Exactly. Exactly. Mark a date in your calendar. This is the date in which I want to achieve that goal.
Why is the date? Anytime people, the teachers, anytime they repeat, the date is very important. Why? Because I just want that. I don't need to make a date.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things is we like to procrastinate and we like to put things off. As people, I think naturally we much rather do things that are easier or that we enjoy. Doing hard things, like our brain much rather do things that don't require much energy. But when it comes to achieving your goal, in order for you to achieve a goal, you have to do things that, 1, you don't want to do, or 2, things that you probably aren't good at. And if you aren't good at things, you may be tempted to give up on it.
Example, do burpee or
burpees.
Learn the irregular verb.
Exactly. So creating a plan for yourself and then breaking down that goal into habits, right? So think about, what are the habits that I need to implement every single day in order to reach this goal, right? So think about, for example, you want to become a better version of yourself, right? You want to become healthier, you want to look more attractive, lose weight, all that stuff. What does a person do to get that, right?
Okay.
So think about the best version of yourself. Write it out. That's one of the biggest things that I do, is I write everything out. What does this version of myself look like? What is this goal that I have? I speak in present tense. I am blah, 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 blah.
Why?
I am.
Why not in the future?
Because when you write something down, I am is the most powerful statement.
Okay.
Right? Because that means that I am to be, right? That means that you are. And so by you saying that you are that thing right now, you start to become that thing.
This version.
Exactly. So to say, I will have blah, 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 or I will, it means that you don't have, because you're speaking about it in the future tense. But if you speak about it in the present tense, you're claiming it right now. So every single day when you wake up and you say, I am a better version of myself, I am whatever goal that you have, when you claim it right then and there, you make it more real, because you're becoming the person that has that, that achieve that.
Make it in French. So, je suis belle, je suis la meilleure version de moi-même, je suis fantastique, je suis incroyable, je suis intelligente et je suis en bonne santé. Comme ça? Des affirmations?
Oui. So the next thing is, aside from writing it down, I think the next thing is cultivating a positive mindset with that. So in your route to achieving whatever goal or thing that you are trying to manifest, you have to remain positive, right? Energy. Let's talk about energy for a little bit, right?
D'accord.
So everything is energy, and not to get all hippy dippy and spiritual, like, you know.
No, that's smoking.
Yeah. We're not doing that. But like, think about it in terms of everything is energy. Everything around you, okay? If you are operating in a negative energy state, what do you think is going to attract to you? Negative things, right? So if your goal, which is positive, right? You want that thing, you have to remain in a positive state. You have to become the thing in which you want to attract. So you have to be
in advance.
Yeah, you have to be positive.
Okay.
You have to remain positive. You have to believe that that thing is already yours. You have to believe that it's already happening and that the time is coming. All right?
I just say, I'm smart, I know French, I speak French, I'm smart, I speak French, is enough?
No, no, it's not enough.
Oh.
You can't just talk your way to these things. It's about action, right?
Okay.
So you have to put action behind it, and that's why you create a plan. Because the plan is literally, you're telling yourself what you're going to do. Today, I'm going to wake up at this time. I am going to do this. I am going to do that. And when you're giving yourself instructions, it's literally a manual to achieving that goal. All you have to do is just follow it.
Follow it.
That's all you have to do is just follow it. You wrote it out already. Everything is there for you in order to achieve that goal. It's up to you to implement it and stay consistent. And that's the thing, being consistent. You can't pick one day and say, okay, today I'm going to do this, and then the next 2 days you take a day off and then you're like, okay, I'll do it. No. Every single day you put an effort into the goal. Put action behind it every single day.
No break.
No break. No break. Because if you take a break, that means that you're, okay, my goal is not important. That's why we start with the why, right? Uncover that why. Because how this works is, it starts with action, then you get results, and then you get motivation. A lot of people rely on motivation for them to take action.
Fire.
That's not how that works. Motivation is not like that. Think about motivation like holding water in your hands. You can hold water in your hands. So yeah, like I was saying, motivation is like holding water in your hands, right? If I open your hands, if I poured water in your hands, the water will sit in your hand only until it starts to slip through your fingers.
I do like that.
Right, but even then you still wouldn't be able to hold it.
Yeah.
And you'll be left with maybe like this much water. Yeah.
I lost some motivation, you mean?
Exactly. That's how motivation works. You start with motivation and then eventually you run out. And if you rely on motivation to take action, eventually you're going to stop, because once your motivation runs out, you're done, right?
So motivation is not enough.
Motivation is not enough. It's action. You just have to do it, regardless of whether you want to do it or not. You can't, a lot of times we do things based on how we feel. And if every day I did things based on how I felt, I probably wouldn't do a lot of things, right? And I think that's for most people. We wouldn't do a lot of things because how we feel about certain things, it can dictate in whether we do it or not. So that's why it's important to take action. And when you take action, right, you take action every single day. And then maybe a week later, boom, you start to see results.
Okay.
Right? And then once you see results, what does that do? What happens when you get results? How do you feel? How do you feel when you get results?
I'm so happy. I want to continue to have more.
So what do?
I keep going.
You take more action. So it's a cycle, right? So it's action, results, motivation, repeat, and you keep doing that. And the more that you take action, the more results you see, the more you're motivated to keep taking action, because you're seeing that this is producing the results you want.
Okay, so that is for any aspect of my life.
Anything. That's what anything. That's learning, fitness, health, nutrition.
Okay.
Anything. You take action, you see results, get motivation, and you keep that cycle going until you achieve your goal. And then once you achieve your goal, most of the time, a lot of our goals are repeating goals, right? Sustainable goals, right? You don't just want to get to a certain point in your health and say, okay, I reached my goal physique. I finally lost the weight. And then you stop. No. You keep doing the things that got you there, because once you achieve the goal, you have to keep it now. And I think that's what people forget, is like once you achieve it, now you have to maintain it.
Like I'm great, so it's okay. Just stop here.
Exactly. And if you just stop there, guess what? You're just gonna go right back to where you started, and then you start all over
I know.
again.
There's a reason I need you now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why, so leading
for sport.
Yeah. But that's why it's important too, when you are manifesting, it's important that you have a support system, right?
How to do that?
Well, if you live with someone else, or if you have family or friends that care and love about you, maybe share your goal with them. Maybe share what you're trying to achieve with the people around you, so that they're able to support you, right? Because if you have this goal it's important that you have people understand how important that goal is to you, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you have a significant other that lives with you and your goal is to lose weight, mm-hmm. but you know that they have certain eating habits that may tempt you to go back into eating a certain way.
Like Accra, Colombo, curry, baguette.
Yeah, like all the sweet treats. Okay. A little tiramisu.
Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so if you share with your partner, hey, this is my goal, this is when I'm trying to achieve it, this is what I'm going to do in order to achieve it, and you share that with them, they'll realize that you're serious about it, and maybe that will make them make a change in their life and support you, and maybe jump on the same wave to kind of improve themselves as well. So definitely setting up a support system is very important, because when you do feel like low self-esteem or lack of motivation and things like that, mm-hmm. you have people that you can go to that can give you that extra push and say, hey, keep going. I know it's tough right now, but you got this. You can keep pushing through. And that's one of the biggest parts of my role as a coach, is I'm that support system for my clients who need that extra motivation and that need that push when they're having those feelings of doubt, or they're frustrated about not seeing certain results and things like that.
Kassim, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So I know how important it is to have a support system. Mm-hmm. I think another thing, in order to manifest the goals that you want, you have to be in the right environment for that.
Yes, that is what my question. If I don't have any support from my family or some friend, how to do it?
You have to create an environment that's conducive to achieving that goal, right? So one of the things that I used to do for myself is I used to write on sticky notes.
Okay.
All right. So I used to write on sticky notes, and I would just put them around my house. Mm-hmm. And what the sticky notes were just reminders for myself. So sometimes I would write meditate. Okay. So that I can keep that in the front of my mind. Sometimes I'll write read, or
just read.
Yeah, or sometimes I'll write things that I want, so that every time I'm in my home, I'm constantly reminded of the habits that I should be doing or the things that I want to achieve. So by always having these things in sight, okay, I go to my bathroom and it's saying smile, right? Just reminding myself to be and become and do all of the things that I know that will help promote and get me to that goal. Okay. So I recommend maybe set up some sticky notes on a mirror, put it all around your house so that you don't have to think about what you should do. You're reminded every time you walk in any room in your home. And I think that
tu mets des post-it partout dans ta maison.
And I think it's important too to also habit stack. And what habit stacking is basically taking a habit that you already do, right? Okay. And then taking a new habit and placing that into the habit. So for example, let's say you want to create a habit of meditating, right? Oui. Okay, well maybe you already have the habit of writing in your journal. So let's say after you write in your journal, you go meditate. Or before you write in your journal, you meditate. So you stack those habits on top of each other so that they work together, right? Mm-hmm. So habit stacking is a way to kind of easily integrate a new habit into your routine that's already with a habit that you already have.
Mais question, si mon habitude c'est de regarder les réseaux sociaux, de faire comme ça sur Facebook, sur Instagram, how to change this part? If my habit is to just scrolling before I go to bed.
Okay. So I think you have to have a conversation with yourself. And I think it begins with, why are you doing that in the first place? Why is it that you feel the need to scroll, right? And you'll realize that a lot of times you're just bored, or you're procrastinating something that you should be doing, mm-hmm. or maybe you're having this anxiety where you don't want to go to sleep because you're stressed. So this is a way to take your mind off of your reality. Mm-hmm. And social media, just randomly scrolling is not the best for your brain at all, because what ends up happening is you get those quick dopamine hits. You get that, it's like a drug.
What?
Yeah, it's literally just like a drug. When you are on social media, you're scrolling, your brain is entertained, and it's the same mechanism in which you get a piece of fruit and your body's like, oh, this is amazing, I crave it, right? Mm-hmm. The same responses are happening when you use social media. That's why it's so addictive. That's why you can scroll and then you look up and you're like, oh wow, I just scrolled for the past hour. How did that happen? That's because your brain was in a process where it was like in a trance. You were releasing dopamine. It was feeling good. And yeah, so that's why I recommend minimizing the amount of time you spend on social media, because remember, that's not real life. Real life is happening outside of that stuff. So whatever's going on there, remember, it's made up. It's not real. A lot of those people you don't know, a lot of the things that you see are not even real either, you know, and especially with AI now, it's probably better to minimize your time on there so that you can focus on what is real and what you want to be real, and that's your goal. And that's why manifesting is important, because what you're manifesting is not real yet. It's only real to you, and the way that you make it real is by taking action, by putting it at the front of your brain and truly believing that it will become real one day. So definitely prioritize that for sure.
Okay, let's try. Let's try. No, don't try.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as try. It's either you do or you don't.
Okay, yeah.
You either do or you don't. Try is like, oh, I'm trying to. Trying is just a way of saying that you haven't done something that you know you probably should do.
I make some excuses in advance, right?
Yeah, try. There's no try. It's either you do or you don't. If you do it, if you're trying, that means you're doing.
Should you try or you do it or not?
You do or you don't.
Which one?
Which one?
Merci Cassim. Merci pour tes conseils. Thank you for your advice.
Always.
Cassim apprend le français. Step by step. Attendez. Après, il va parler français parfaitement. Merci Cassim. La bise?
Yeah.
Au revoir tout le monde. Bisous, bisous. Au revoir.
Peace and love.